Imagine waking up in ancient Rome. The sun is rising over the marble columns, and the emperor, the most powerful man at that time, is preparing for his day. You might think of an emperor's morning filled with grandeur and servants at his beck and call, but you wouldn't guess what Marcus Aurelius did instead. Today, we will take a closer look on the habits and routine that built Marcus's work ethic and discipline, and how you can apply them in your own life. At the end of this video, I will put the complete morning routine of Marcus Aurelius. You can save it and adapt it to your own needs. Without further ado, what was Marcus Aurelius's morning routine like? Within the same 24 hours we all have, Marcus Aurelius managed to be a father, a husband, a philosopher, a writer, and a student, all while serving as the ruler of Rome, with the never-ending responsibilities of leading the troops, judging cases, passing laws, inquiries, favors, and addressing the needs of his people. Although there are not specific details about Marcus's exact morning routine, we can extract directly from his own writings an idea of what a morning routine would look like for this great historic figure. Starting his day at dawn, Marcus was an early riser, not out of preference but out of a sense of duty, as he openly acknowledged his struggle to get out of bed in Meditations, Book 5, Chapter 1. He reflected on the temptation to stay under the warmth of his covers, engaging in an inner dialogue to overcome this reluctance, just like any other regular person. He questioned himself, "Is this what I was created for, to huddle under the blankets and stay warm?" Then he reminded himself of his duty as a human being. But you were born to work, whether that's in the fields or in the city, to do what humans are meant to do. He countered his comfort-driven excuses with Stoic reasoning, emphasizing the importance of fulfilling his role in life. He argued that even the smallest creatures, like ants and bees, fulfill their purpose tirelessly. So how could he, as a rational being, act otherwise? As a good Stoic, Marcus Aurelius believed that excellence was a daily habit. Therefore, right after beating the temptation of staying in bed, he took action by setting clear intentionality. He did not believe in procrastination. He believed on doing the most important task first in the day while he was still fresh. There are three main practices that Marcus Aurelius implemented right at the beginning of the day in order to think clearly, act accordingly, and avoid overthinking throughout the day. First, he affirmed to himself the gratitude and perspective of the gift of being alive and the opportunity to act in accordance with nature and reason, as he wrote. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. This reflects his Stoic mindset of appreciating life's fundamental gifts. For Marcus, this daily appreciation was essential. It kept him grounded and humble, despite the temptations of his position. As the man of power he was, excesses were at easy hand for him, like sensual pleasures, gluttony, or power. By starting his day with gratitude, he reinforced his commitment to discipline and virtue instead. When it comes to journaling, it is more likely that Marcus Aurelius wrote at the end of the day, as his meditations reflect a tone of reflection, self-assessment, and lessons learned, which align more with end-of-day introspection than morning preparation. That said, Marcus' journaling may not have been limited to the evening. His writings are deeply personal and practical, suggesting he used them whenever he needed to center himself. His book Meditations is now available on the first link in the description.
Journaling on the morning served him as a mental preparation before being surrounded by inquiries, favors, and bad news delivered from the exterior world. Right after that, he set the mindset required for the day, anticipating encountering selfishness, rudeness, and challenges, resolving not to let these disrupt his inner peace. He anchored this in the belief that others act from ignorance and that it's his duty to remain virtuous, not only as the emperor, but as a rational, intelligent human being. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil. Meditations 2.1. This passage captures his practice of preparing his mind to remain undisturbed by the inevitable challenges of interacting with others. Perhaps part of this practice stemmed from his introvert nature, which may have required more effort from his part to deal and interact with people. If there's one lesson to extract from Marcus Aurelius's morning habits, it's the importance of stillness. In contrast to modern habits, where most people immediately reach for their smartphones upon opening eyes, allowing the external world to bombard their minds, Marcus began his day with introspection. In today's era, this constant rush of information leaves little room for self-reflection, resulting in a buildup of unattended thoughts, a significant contributor to the rising anxiety we face. Marcus reminds us that starting the day with stillness not only clears the mind, but also sets the tone for the day ahead. Here's an example of how you can start your day like a Stoic. Spend the first 5 to 10 minutes of your day without distractions. Avoid checking your phone for the first 30 minutes and instead focus on centering your thoughts and emotions. Sit quietly, breathe, and reflect. Reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. This aligns with Marcus's reminder to value life's fundamental gifts. Then, proceed to plan the day ahead. Consider questions like, what is my purpose today? How can I go to bed tonight satisfied with my actions? What challenges might I face, and how can I handle them accordingly? These questions will awake your mind to act with intention. And finally, you could recite a mantra that you can keep on your front mind at all times to set your mindset for the day. For example, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You can repeat it many times to yourself, or you can carry it on a note or in the wallpaper of your phone, so every time you check it, it reminds you of your purpose. Now, with his mind ready, Marcus was prepared to engage in physical activity. Despite his naturally frail constitution, his preferred activities included boxing, wrestling, and horseback riding. These practices were not just exercises for the body, but also tools to strengthen his mental resilience and fortitude. There is little evidence to confirm whether he trained fasted or after eating. But one thing is sure, as a Stoic, Marcus avoided indulgence in excessive food. He didn't care about fancy foods or wines. For him, food was fuel, not a source of pleasure. A very popular thing back then was that the Romans always accompanied the gymnasium training with baths. Bathhouses in ancient Rome were more than places for hygiene. They were hubs for connection and camaraderie. For Marcus, these moments were also time to socialize and engage with the people he served. Whether cold plunges or hot baths. This was a daily ritual for Marcus Aurelius, a practice he described as a way to clean away the dust of life. As a leader, Marcus knew he had to first be a learner, which is why he was an avid reader throughout his life. Both as a child and as an adult, he approached reading with diligence, focusing on gaining wisdom rather than mere entertainment. Marcus likely read whenever he could carve out the time, and so can you. Remember, leaders are always readers. Marcus Aurelius' routine emphasizes 2 key aspects: righteous mindset and disciplined action. Through his morning work, he became intentional instead of being reactive towards life, always stepping above the situation. This is the complete morning routine inspired by Marcus Aurelius. If you know someone who could benefit from a Stoic approach to a better life, share this video with them. I hope you appreciated this video. See you on the next one.